In 2025, everyone thought that we were going to create these new browsers and inject AI inside of them. But we're starting to realize that this is not what's happening at all. In this video, I want to talk about how you can prepare for the future of using AI agents in these brand new super apps like Claude Desktop and Codex. I'm about to play some clips from this podcast. This is Lenny's podcast, and he invited a guy named Dan Schipper on his podcast. And I believe he has an incredible intuition into where AI agents are going.
Basically, what happened was Anthropic realized at some point that with Claude Code, once you have a coding agent on your computer that can build anything, it's actually really good for any kind of work you want to do. And people started just hacking Claude Code essentially to do all of their work. So Anthropic then built Cowork, which is, a little bit of a nicer wrapping around Claude Code, but is fundamentally the same thing. I think OpenAI made a couple of different bets. They launched the Codex desktop app. And I think the Codex desktop app takes, if you look at all the lessons that Anthropic learned, they went from Claude Code to Cowork. And you can kind of see that in the tabs on the Anthropic desktop app UI. I think OpenAI was just like, we see where this is going. Let's just skip to that. And I think Codex right now, it's my daily driver. I spend all my time in it. Basically, I flip to Claude every once in a while, but I think they're getting the paradigm right. And it's clear to me that whoever is in the lead, because I think it'll change. Whoever's in the lead, it feels very obvious to me that all of the work that you do is going to be in one of those surfaces.
So that's what Dan believes. Dan believes that most work that people do will be done in one of these two apps. And so these super apps are really good at doing any coding task or any knowledge work task, like creating documents, spreadsheets, or basically anything that you could theoretically do on your computer. And what Dan explains next, I really want to make sure that you have the right context to understand exactly what he's saying. So he's about to talk about a tool that he uses called Proof. And so his company, Every, created a product called Proof. And what it is a document editor. So this is a document editor. And I want you to just picture like Obsidian or Google Docs, right? He created a document editor, except it's made to be agent native. And this agent native document editor is made to be used by humans and by agents at the same time. And because both Codex and Claude Code are developing these browsers, this browser over here that sits right next to my agent, Claude Code also has a very similar browser that sits right next to your agent chat. Because these super apps all will come with a full browser, right? Imagine this is Google Chrome that you can use alongside your agent. It'll completely change the way people use computers. Okay, let's listen to the rest of this clip.
For example, when I'm writing a document, Codex has a browser in the app. It has an in-app browser. And when I'm writing a document, I just go into one of my Codex threads, which I have one thread for every project. And I just open the in-app browser. I go to the document. I usually do it in Proof, which is this online markdown editor I built. And then I just have Codex running and watching me in Proof. And Codex can see what I'm doing. I can see what Codex is doing. It's all kind of in one place, which is an extension of the same thing that made Claude Code work really well originally. And I basically feel like I have this parallel work buddy that not only can it respond and write in the document, but then it can go do research. It can use my computer to basically do anything that I can do on my computer. And that's incredibly powerful.
So just to illustrate, right now on Codex, I have this browser open and I can type directly into Google Docs. And I can also say, hey, Codex, can you please look at your memory and please just tell me all of my favorite tools that I use and just put it in this doc, please? And because Codex has full context over my browser, it can view the browser, it can see exactly what I'm working on, and it has browser use. I could also say, browser, please, when you're done, use browser use to make sure it's the right formatting, right? I can also allow Codex to control this browser and make sure it's the proper formatting. These AI agent tools that have full control over our computer, has full memory and context over my integrations and everything like that. And look at that. It just wrote this down. So now it's verifying Google Doc formatting. And look, now it's fully controlling a browser. That little mouse is not me. That is browser use within Codex. Hey guys, this is me from the future. Codex, right before I was about to upload this video, Codex just got an update to their in-app browser. I'm not kidding. As of 1 hour ago, when you use Codex, you stay logged into your browser. So here I'm fully signed into the browser on Twitter, and watch. I'm gonna go to a new tab. I'm gonna open the browser, and now I can sign into anything. So I can go to twitter.com. And I can open it up, and you can see here I'm still signed into my previous account. Here I can go to docs.google.com and check this out. I'm already signed into my Google Docs account. And here I have Codex open. This is my Notion. I'm signed into my Notion. If I were to create a new chat by pressing Command N and I were to go open up my browser, I could click browser and I could type notion.com, and I think all I have to do is click login. And yes, I'm already logged in, so it's logged into my Notion. We are approaching a full web browser directly inside Codex. So the reason this is new is we are shifting from a world of browser tabs to task tabs. If we go to an application like Comet, which was an AI browser, and they added this assistant side panel. And this assistant side panel can actually control the browser, and they basically created these new AI browsers. And there's some other examples as well. There was Dia browser, and then Atlas, which was OpenAI's browser, and even Google Chrome itself is starting to get some AI features. But this new future with your AI agent platforms or your super apps, instead of it being a bunch of browser tabs, it's a bunch of task tabs on the left sidebar. And when you click on a task tab, it opens up an agent thread, and then you see your browser, right? It opens your browser. Your agent will open your browser, or you can open your browser manually, but you have all of the different browser tabs for your agent thread. That's the paradigm that we're shifting to for productive work. Instead of having all these random tabs open, you just have your task, your agent, and then the browser tabs that are relevant to that task, right? We're going from this right here, right? And you get lost. I know you've used web browsers and you end up getting lost and you're like, okay, what was I even doing? And we're switching to something that looks like this. We have different tasks. Each task has different side panels, right? Here's my personal landing page. So the browser that's open right here, this happens to be running a website, right? This is deployed on the internet. And this browser tab is relevant to this task. So I switch from this task to this task, and here we have the Google Doc open. And so I can interact with my agent, and my agent can control this document, and I can control this document. This app right here is an agent native app, and that is an app that you control with your agent. You can directly edit it. Your agent can see your changes. Your agent can edit it. You can see your agent's changes. So it's becoming this collaborative process with AI agents. As AI agents get smarter, the AI agent will, in theory, be able to do more and more of this. And the fact that it can control your computer and your browser means that maybe over time it'll actually predict what you want to do and it will just do it for you. And so what does this mean for SaaS or software in general? And the reason why Dan, the reason he built the thing called Proof is he believed that using Google Docs is not an ideal experience. You have to sign in, authentication's really annoying, the interface is not ideal for using AI agents. Instead, he built his own document editor, which is much more lightweight, but it's much better for AI agents and human collaboration. And so what his thesis is that all of the best SaaS companies will kind of become these agent native apps that you can use with your AI agent. Instead of building a SaaS app, right, on Google Docs, you can click this Gemini button and you can have AI edit this. The problem with that is this AI that's connected to Google Docs doesn't have the same context as Codex does. Codex is connected to all of my apps. Codex knows everything about me. And so the future of SaaS might not be building an app that comes with an AI agent inside. The future of SaaS might just be to create an app that your existing agent that more and more people will use will have access to, right? Make an app that your users can use with their own agents. they can bring their own agents, they can use their own tokens, rather than providing an agent and providing tokens like Lovable or Replit or a tool like Gamma. And so to conclude this video, I want to do some predictions and some suggestions. So my predictions for the future are as follows. So let's take a look at the first prediction. I think that Claude Code and I will say Codex will add multiple browser tabs per session or per task. If we were to go to Codex, you'll see that we have a browser open right here. I can create a new tab, I can open this up, and I can open up a browser right here, and I can go to espn.com, for example. I can't click here and open up a new browser. I believe that you'll be able to open as many browsers as you want per chat thread. And to kind of piggyback on this prediction, I believe that the agent will start opening one or multiple browser tabs when you create a new chat. Let's say I want to create some Twitter posts and I use a tool like Typefully, which is where I draft all of my tweets. It may open my Notion and it may also open Typefully automatically whenever I suggest that I want to write some tweets. Why would it do that? Codex might do that automatically because every time I go to write tweets, I open up Notion and I also open up Typefully. The agent that you're interacting with in the super app will start learning based on your activity in the browser. It'll start doing things automatically. And maybe the future of like automating your workflows is less about constructing them and more about just doing high quality tasks over and over again. And then over time, your own AI agent will just learn how to do tasks for you. Wait, I forgot. That was my second prediction, right? The agent will start automatically opening browser tabs when you start tasks. I genuinely believe that's the direction it's going. And then finally, I think the agent native apps are going to evolve into a new type of app. And these are going to be generative UIs that integrate with your own tools. Let me explain what I mean here. On Codex, you can create plugins. And for instance, I have a Gmail plugin. And what I can do is I can say, read my last 20 emails, figure out the 3 that I need to respond to, and generate a draft for all 3. What I believe the future of AI in these super apps will be it'll generate a UI or a mini app that shows the input message and the response, right? And your agent will automatically create these little generative UIs for you to refine it. Here's a drafted response to this person. Let me know if you like it. And you'll be able to open it up in your browser. And once you check your agent's work, you'll be able to send it directly in the app that your agent generates for you. You'll be able to create little mini apps that integrate with all of your tools, and you'll actually be able to use all of your integration. And so that's how we're going to kind of transition into this Jarvis future where you tell your computer to do something, boom, generative UI, you might make some refinements like Tony Stark, and then you're like, send it off. And that is going to be the future. And I don't think we're that far off from that. I think 3 to 6 months into this new generative mini apps are what I call them. And so my suggestions to you are as follows. I want you to start thinking about your entire job at the task and SOP level. Take all of the things that you do and organize them in a list of tasks. What are all the things that you do on the way to completing something? And if you were to create these little documents, you'll be able to organize things at the task level. And this will allow you to be organized once Codex and Claude Code add these full browser features, which I guarantee you they will. And you'll be equipped to like kind of divide all of your work into these tasks. You'll be able to get way more done. If you are a builder, or if you are an indie hacker, or you want to make money selling applications, I highly recommend try to take a risk and try and go from the world of these static applications that you might submit to an app store to these mini apps or these agent native apps that you and agents can use. And I guarantee you, once you go down this rabbit hole, you will find so many interesting ideas. You can create an app that is basically a skill that other people can install onto Codex that makes a certain task easier to do. And then finally, I just think you should learn Codex and Claude Code. I'm telling you, Codex and Claude Code are the future of all knowledge work. Coding tasks, general knowledge tasks. I think most things are just going to be done inside Codex and Claude Code. I 100% agree with Dan Schipper from the Lenny podcast. I think he's spot on, and I think learning how to use Codex and Claude Code, basically the most important thing that you can do in the world of business right now. Hey guys, thanks for watching this video. By the way, this is Claude Code or Codex running in my text messages. This is a new product that my team and I have been working on. This is my James Bond agent that runs on my phone or my computer. Hello, buddy. This is Claude Opus 4.7 responding to me. I can change it to any other model. This is running 24/7 on a computer, right? And it has files. So it's basically if you're running OpenClaw in the cloud 24/7, except you can use any model you want. You have access to all of the files. You can create skills or you can browse our built-in skills. There's so many of them. You can very easily connect it to iMessage. This agent is built to be iMessage first and allow you to just get done anything you would want to get done that you would do on Claude Code or Codex. And you have all of your connections and you can create automations as well. And this agent runs 24/7. Your laptop does not need to be open. I hope you guys enjoy this product. We've been working on it for a while. Anyway, I'll see you guys here for the next video. Peace.